Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. Not your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Welcome back from Fox News. McAuliffe says he doesn't believe parents should tell schools what to teach. McAuliffe made the remarks in response to Youngkin's argument that parents should be more involved. Now, this was the Virginia gubernatorial debate that was last night, and it's typical. It's typical. McAuliffe is a Clinton progressive Democrat. They only allow one term in Virginia. I don't know if that's good or a bad thing if you get a good governor, but what's happened to Virginia over the last 10, 20 years is absolute sin. In fact, I saw a video. They're talking about southern states in a channel on YouTube called It's a Southern Thing. And one of the participants says, Virginia isn't even considered the South anymore. And they're right. When I was down south in June, I went through western Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Kentucky to central Tennessee, where I might end up living in central Tennessee, then swung back around and went east along the Virginia border to Virginia Beach, where my daughter and her family lives. And as the more you got north and east, the less southern it was. And I mean that in a very negative way. People aren't as polite. They aren't as nice. There was restrictions all over the place on masks and this and that and all kinds of can't do this, can't do that. People are just different, and it's really sad. But anyway, I digress, but that's the way Virginia is now. And Virginia was a very solid Republican state for a long time. And it's sad what's happened to it. Democrat candidate for governor of Virginia, Terry McAuliffe, said he doesn't think parents should control what schools in the state teach. I don't think parents should be telling schools what they should teach. Of course they should. McAuliffe previously served as governor from 2014 to 2018 and said during Tuesday night's debate with Republican candidate Glenn Youngkin. McAuliffe made the remarks in response to Youngkin's argument that parents should be more involved in decisions of local school districts. Of course they should. It's amazing. That reminds me, I've got to pay my school taxes. I live in upstate New York on my house by Thursday. And it's outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. I'm going to give you an idea how different it is outside these deep red states. A friend of mine in central Tennessee bought a house for $100,000. And her mortgage payment, including the insurance, the escrow for the taxes, everything, principal, interest, the works, is $563 a month for a $100,000 loan. That's crazy. Crazy good. But once you live up in high tax states like Northern Virginia is getting now, New York State, of course, it's the local property taxes that are the killer. So when you get these rich people who don't pay any taxes, that's nonsense. They pay a ton. They pay state and local taxes are good, 20% of the income. Anyway, but I digress again. What we've seen over the course of the last 20 months is our school system refusing to engage with parents. In fact, Fairfax County this week, we watched parents so upset because there was such sexually explicit material in the library that they had never seen. It was shocking, he continued. And in fact, you vetoed the bill that would have informed parents that they were there. You believe school systems should tell the children what to do. I believe parents should be in charge of their school's education. Now, you've got them now where there's school districts all over the country and in deep red states in these bigger cities that tell these young kids, you can call yourself any gender you want to. You want to be a boy today, you want to be a girl today, you want to be neither. You can decide which bathroom to go in. You can decide what sports to try out for. Even though you're a biological male, you can play in girl sports. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. And children are so moldable, and they're like sponges. They suck everything up, and you give them something that I consider evil, and they suck it right up and believe it. Kids are very, very easy to persuade. The exchange came after a question about Virginia Department of Education's newly released guidelines that call for school districts to allow transgender students to use the bathroom and locker room with their preferred gender identity. McAuliffe said he welcomes local school districts' input in such policies, but he supports the state releasing guidance on such issues to the Department of Education. So if you're in right outside of D.C. and you're in a really, really deep blue district and you live on the other side of Virginia, it's not the same rule. It's a whole different area, different culture, different people. Tuesday's debate between the two candidates was the last before the state's November 2nd election, which many analysts modeled the first election, major election, the post-Trump era, for insight in the next year's midterm election. Now, Virginia's gotten a lot bluer over the years. It's not even a swing state anymore, I don't think. And they're trying to say that depending how the Republican candidate does would be the first test of how the Democrat Progressive Party has taken a lot of hits. Polling currently show a tight race between the two candidates with a real clear politics average showing McAuliffe leading Youngkin by just under 3 points, which is probably the margin of error. So we'll basically call it a dead heat. And that's the mentality of the new Democrat Party. It really and truly is. We're going to tell you what we're going to teach your kids. You have absolutely no input. Oh, we'll let you talk at school boards and we'll patronize you and pretend like we care what you think. And then when you say your piece, we'll just go do what we want. One size fits all. Doesn't really work. It doesn't work at the national level. I mean, my God, issues that are, we'll say healthcare or whatever the issue is. You live in, say, central state of Maine in a rural area, or you live in, we'll say, the end of the Appalachians in North Carolina, Tennessee border, or you live in Los Angeles County. There's three entirely different cultures and people way of thinking. One size does not fit all. And that was the beauty of the founders, that each individual state. But now states are just pushing this nonsense, and it's tough. But it's the mindset. I know better than you. You be quiet. I know it's your child. I have the say in how they're brought up. You don't. And that's the Democrat progressive mindset. And we'll see how it turns out. But this has been battle that's been going on in the blue states for years. And parents, they're working their behinds off. They don't have time to look at every little thing their kid sees. Now they got to interrogate them every day what they learn in class. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And I'll tell you the truth. It isn't this ideological differences, say, with the parents or the school district. This is bat crap crazy stuff. Tomorrow you can be a girl, but the day after you can be a boy again. You can go in any bathroom you want, depending how you feel that day. It's nuts. How did we get so far down the road? It's amazing to me, especially young children. They're so malleable. I mean, they're so gullible to almost anything. It's such a shame now, but I guess in a good way, it's making homeschooling a lot more popular. That's exploding, and the fact that parents now are participating in what their kids see and hear in school much more than the old days. So maybe that's the silver lining in all this, and there it is. Typical Democrat progressive mindset. We're the government. We know what's best for your kids. You don't. I think it was Ronald Reagan that said, when you hear this, run for the hills. We're from the government, and we're here to help. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.